Greeting learners. So we're going to continue with our session. Remember, we were doing a worked example number 2. We asked to get the first three terms for x is equal to -6. This is what we have finished already. So now we're going to consider the next value. If x is equal to 9, we need to get the first three terms and the nth term. So if x is equal to 9, 9 minus 6, we will get the first term will be 3. X is equal to 9. 9 times 2, 18 minus 6, you're going to get 12. This will be the second term. And term number 3 will be 9 times 5, 45 plus 3, we're getting 48. These are the first three terms. Now, let's get our common ratio. R will be equal to 12 over 3. This will be equal to 48 over 12. We're getting 4 as our common ratio. Now, the general term, Tn, will be equal to A. The first term is 3, and our common ratio is 4. 4 to the power of n minus 1. Then we are done with the worked example number 2. We're going to pass to the next exercise now, as we close with the worked example number 2. We're going to take exercise 3 now. Continue with our session. Answer the questions below for sequence B. Our sequence is 1 over 8, 1 over 4, 1 over 2, 1, dot, dot, and the last term is 128. So the first question is write down the fifth term in the sequence. Before we write the fifth term, we will need to get the common ratio as we are dealing with a geometric sequence. So 1, solutions. Our constant ratio, R will be equal to 1 over 4 over 1 over 8. This is going to be 1 over 4 multiplied by 8 over 1. We're getting 2. So if we also consider R is equal to 1 over 2 over 1 over 4, this will be equal to 1 over 4 multiplied by 4 over 1. Our common ratio is 2. So now if we want to get the fifth term, T5 will be equal to T4 multiplied by the common ratio. So our T4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 is 1. 1 times 2, so T5 will be equal to 2. And that is the answer for question 1. Question 1-2, determine the formula for the nth term. If we want the formula for the nth term, Tn will be equal to A times R to the power of n minus 1. Tn will be equal to our first term is 1 over 8. So we'll be writing 1 over 8 times our common ratio is 2, so it's going to be 2 to the power of n minus 1. There is also a simple way of writing this general term. Tn will be equal to, remember 8 is 2 to the power of 3. So as 8 is at the denominator, passing it at the numerator, it will be 2 to the power of -3 times 2 to the power of n minus 1. So our Tn will be 2 to the power of n minus 4. Because we're having the power here is -3 plus n minus 1, we're getting n minus 4. So this is the formula for the nth term. That was question 1, 2. We're going to take question 1, 3 now. 1, 3. We will need some space, so I'm going to clean this top one. Question 1, we have in the answer already. And question 1, 2, the formula for the nth term is here. Also delete that 12 space. Now we're going to take question 1, 3. Determine the value of the seventh term. 1, 3. Seventh term is T7 is going to be equal. We're taking our general term Tn and we're going to replace n by 7. T7 will be 2 to the power of 7 minus 4 will be equal to 2 to the power of 3. And the 2 to the power of 3 is 8. So T7 is 8. We're taking the last sub-question 1, 4. Let's clean here. How many terms are there in the sequence? If we want to get the number of terms in a sequence, we will consider the last term being 128. So we'll be writing that 2 to the power of n minus 4 will be equal to 128. And using our calculator, 128 is 2 to the power of 7. Yeah. So we're getting that this will be equal to 2 to the power of 7. And n minus 4 will be equal to 7. And our n will be 7 plus 4, 11. So the number of terms we're having in our geometric sequence is 11. N is equal to 11. So we have practically covered this exercise number 3. We're going to take another one, exercise 3, number 2. We're taking exercise 3, number 2 now. Here's the question. Answer the questions below for sequence A. Our sequence A is 9x plus 8, 2x minus 6, x minus 8. The first question is, determine the values of x for which these terms form a geometric sequence. Question number 2, determine a formula for the nth term. And the last question, 2, 3, determine the value of the 10th term. Okay, let's take the solutions. Question 2.1. The value of x for which these terms form a geometric sequence, we know first we will need the common ratio. R is equal to T2 over T1 is equal to T3 over T2. And this will imply that R will be equal to T2 is 2x minus 6 over T1, 9x plus 8. This will be equal to T3, x minus 8 over T2, 2x minus 6. So, solving for x, we're going to cross multiply. So I'll be getting 2x minus 6 times 2x minus 6. So it's going to be squared. And then we'll have 9x plus 8 times x minus 8. Squaring this left-hand side, here we will be having 4x squared minus 12 times 2, 24x plus 36. This will be equal to 9x squared minus 72x plus 8x minus 64. So I'm just gonna check 9 times 8, we gain 72, that is correct. So we'll be having 4x squared minus 24x plus 36. This will be equal to 9x squared negative 72 plus 8. Then we're getting negative 64x minus 64. Let's continue here. So we'll be having, I'm going to transpose the left hand side to the right hand side in order to avoid the negative sign. So we'll be having 9x squared minus 64x minus 64. It's going to be minus 4x squared plus 24x minus 36, and this will be equal to 0. 9 minus 4, we're getting 5x squared, and negative 64 plus 24, negative 64 plus 24, negative 64 plus 24, then we're getting negative 40, so here's going to be negative 40x, and the negative 64 minus 36, then we're going to get negative 100, and this will be equal to 0. So we're going to divide by 5 all the terms. As you can see, 40 and 100 are multiple of 5. Divide by 5, we're getting x squared minus 40 divided by 5, we're getting x 8, and the 100 divided by 5, we're getting 20, and this will be equal to 0. So we're having a trinomial expression. We will solve this. We can either use a quadratic formula, or we can use factorization to get the value of x here. So I'm going to use factorization here. We need to get two numbers whose sum will be negative 8 and whose product will be negative 20. These two numbers are negative 10 plus 2. Negative 10 plus 2, we're getting negative 8, and negative 10 times 2 will get negative 20. So these are the two numbers we need here. So we'll be having x squared minus 10x plus 2x minus 20 is equal to 0. Grouping the first two and the last two, here we'll be having x minus 10 plus 2, x minus 10 is equal to 0. You can see that x minus 10 is our common factor, so we end up getting x minus 10 times x plus 2 is equal to 0. So the value of x will be equal to 10. The other one, x will be equal to negative 2. So the value of x, we have got x is equal to 10, or x is equal to negative 2. This was question 2.1. We're going to need some space for question 2.2. So I will claim this so we can have space for question 2.2. Okay. Let's clean this. With this term from my geometry, we got the values of x, 10 and negative 2. We're going to take the next question is 2. Determine a formula for the nth term. As you can see, we have got two values of x. We're first going to consider the first value, that will be 10. If x is equal to 10, let's get our first three terms. 9 times 10 is 90 plus 8, so our first term, T1, will be equal to 98. And the next one is 2 times 10 is 20 minus 6. We're getting 14. And the last term, T3, 10 minus 8, then we're getting 2. This is our first three terms. In order for us to get the formula, we need to get the common ratio. Our common ratio will be 14 over 98. This will be equal to 2 over 14. So we're going to get 2 over 14 is 1 over 7. Let's check with our calculator. 14 over 98. Then we're getting 1 over 7. So our common ratio is 1 over 7. The formula for the nth term, Tn is equal to a times r to the power n minus 1. Tn will be equal to the first term is 98 times our common ratio is 1 over 7 to the power n minus 1. This is for x is equal to 10. Now we're going to consider for the second value, that is x is equal to minus 2. We will clean the board here, considering that our first x was 10 and our second value is x is equal to negative 2. Now if x is equal to negative 2, we're going to come back here again. T1 will be equal to 9 times negative 2, we're getting negative 18 plus 8, then we get negative 10. T2 will be equal to negative 2 times 2, we're getting negative 4. Negative 4, negative 6. Our T2 is also equal to negative 10. Our T3 will be negative 3, negative 8, we're getting negative 10. As you can see here, we're having all the terms being practically equal. T1 is equal to negative 10, T2 is equal to negative 10, and T3 is equal to negative 10. So if we want to write our general term, Tn will be equal to A and R to the power of n minus 1. So as you can see, our R will be T2 over T1. It will be equal to T3 over T2. Our R will be negative 10 over negative 10. And our common ratio is equal to 1. So if we want to write our general term, if the question is saying Tn will be equal to the first term is negative 10, and the common ratio is 1 to the power of n minus 1. Remember, 1 to the power of any number is equal to 1. So our Tn here will be equal to negative 10. Then we are done with the question 2.2. We're going to go to question 2.3. Determine the value of the 10th term. So here we will need some space. We're going to clean the board at the top here and only remain with question 2.3. Determine the value of the 10th term. If we want to get the value of the 10th term, we will consider all the values. Remember, we're having x is equal to 10 and x is equal to negative 2. The first one, 2, 3. If x is equal to 10, we'll be having that T10 for the first one. The formula is here. Our first term, remember, it was 98. And our common ratio was 1 over 7 to the power of n minus 1. Remember, our n is 10, so here it will be 10 minus 1. We're going to get 9. So here we're going to use the calculator to get the value of T10. 98 times 1 over 7 to the power of 9. And the answer is 2 over 823,543. This is the value of T10 for x is equal to 10. We're going to consider the next value. If x is equal to negative 2, T10 will be equal. Remember, our Tn was negative 10, and our common ratio was 1. So it's going to be 1 to the power of 9. So T10 will be equal to negative 10 times 1. We're getting practically negative 10. So we're done with this exercise number 3.